I saw a video today in which he said that the reason that you're lonely is because you spend too much time indoors, right? He said the reason that you can't find a girlfriend, that you can't make any good friends, is because you spend all your times indoors playing video games, like doing these self-gratification activities. And while in some cases that may be 100% true, I'm sure there's people out there that don't leave their house, that sit at home playing video games all day, 12 hours a day, don't see the light of day at all. I also think that that's complete bullshit for a lot of people. To just say that you leave the house, you start going to the gym, you start going to doing these activities, you're automatically gonna meet new people and not be lonely is complete fucking bullshit, bro. I hate to say it, but it's bullshit. I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but I'm just gonna share my experiences with this. I leave my house every single fucking day. I literally, every single day, I go outside. I go to the grocery store. I go to the gym. I go to the park. I go hang out with my friends. I go get food. I do all the stuff that I need to do. And yeah, sometimes I slip up. Sometimes I'll stay at home and play video games. But for the most part, almost damn near every single day, unless I'm sick, I leave the house every single day. And guess what? I haven't really made one new friend. One new friend that I could consider close. And right now I have a good group of friends. I have a good circle. I have a lot of people around me that I trust and I care about deeply, right? So I'm not saying that I need new friends or anything like that. But I'm telling you right now that I haven't met one new person. And I'll tell you also, it's not for a lack of effort. I promise you it is not for a lack of effort. You can't just go outside and do normal shit and just expect to meet new people, right? Especially if you're somebody that's naturally introverted, you're gonna have to put yourself out of your comfort zone to such an extreme measure. Unless you are a naturally outgoing, extroverted person, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone in such an extreme manner in a lot of these activities that you do, right? Maybe I'm just getting unlucky with the people I'm meeting and the people that I'm around, but the people that I've been around, right, they don't necessarily want to open up to you, even if you are the one going to them. The thing is, a lot of you may be watching this video like, oh, he's probably introverted, he's shy, he probably doesn't talk to people, right? He's probably scared, anxious to talk to women, to talk to guys. And that's not the case at all, bro. Not the case at all. I put myself out of my comfort zone so many times in order to try to talk to people, try to meet new people. And look, I'll be honest. I'm not necessarily an outgoing person. I'm not extroverted. I'm not super bubbly and looking to talk to random strangers all the time. But I'm also not anxious and shy to talk to people, right? If I get in a social situation, if I start talking to a girl, if, you know, somebody approaches me and starts talking, I'm not like shriveling up and getting all nervous and shy and not know what to say and overthinking. I'm pretty comfortable in those situations. But at the same time, I'm not somebody that's just gonna talk to random strangers on the street. I'm not a person that's just gonna approach a woman who got earphones in at the gym, not even looking my way, right? You know, everybody has their own beliefs and ways about going about these situations, but I'm personally not a believer in going up to people at the gym who are just trying to get their workout in and talking to them and just trying to form a relationships right then and there, right? On the spot. And just asking for the number and going out, right? I'm the type of person that believes in gradual exposure to people is the way you meet them, right? If I see this girl at the gym, you know, once on Monday, we talk a little, you know, then come back on Tuesday, I see her, maybe we talk again, and then on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, and then maybe by Friday, if we've talked every single day of the week, then maybe I'll be like, hey, let's go out. I see you a lot here, you know, we kind of got to know each other. We, you know, you always come here. Then let's go, you know, then I'll ask for her number and go out. But I'm not the type of person, first time I see you at the grocery store, I tap on your shoulder while you on the phone, like, excuse me, I think you're very attractive. Can I get your number? Let's go out. That's just not me. Maybe that's you. Maybe you got the confidence to do that. And maybe I'm bugging for not doing that. But personally, I just don't approach random people that I've never seen before and just ask them to hang out, right? That's just not me. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's the thing I'm lacking in, but that's personally not me. Now, with that in mind, let's flip the situation to the other person. If you were approached like that randomly, out of nowhere, out of the blue, how would you react, right? Even if it was the hottest girl that you've ever seen in your life, you'd be probably taken aback and a little stunned that somebody just approached you out of nowhere and asked to hang out with you or go on a date with you, right? Even if you might be like, you know what, this is nice, I want to accept, you'll be taken aback. You're not expecting anybody to approach you in the first place, and you kind of have your guard up a little bit just because you don't know this person, you don't know what they want from you. As nice as they could be, you know, you're not automatically trusting of them. At least that's how I feel, right? I don't just, everybody that approaches me, I'm not like, hey, here's my number, here's my address, let's hang out, right? I don't do that. Maybe so, again, maybe some of you do, and maybe I'm tripping for believing this, but it's just like you need some kind of rapport. You need to develop some kind of rapport with somebody before you automatically just hang out with them and call them your best friend or start dating them. Maybe I'm crazy for that. But again, I don't do that. I don't even think a lot of people do that. I don't see a lot of people do that. How many people you hear, oh yeah, I was just walking down the street and this guy just approached me and now we're fucking married, right? You don't hear that. You don't hear that. Personally, I don't. And so with that in mind, now we shift over to, okay, where can we meet new people in a situation that's natural, right? Obviously, like we talked about right now, going to the grocery store, going to the gym, and just talking to random people that are there to do their workouts or there to buy milk or whatever, that's not a place you meet people, right? That's not a social environment. That's not a situation that encourages socialization and you meet a new people, right? And again, I'm not saying that it doesn't work for everybody and that it's complete bullshit and it's a lie and that nobody should do it, right? If you have the confidence, if you feel like that's the best course of action for you, if you really don't care about, missing 2 billion shots, because I'm going to just be honest with you. You approach people in those situations where they're at the gym or at the grocery store or out and about, more likely than not, they're going to reject you. They're more likely to reject you in those situations than in other social settings that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But that's just a matter of fact, right? Unless you're extremely attractive, then maybe that's probably working for you. But as somebody who's average or below average looking, you're just going to have very little luck in those situations. I'm going to be real with you, right? If you're planning on cold approaching and you might not be the tallest, most handsome, most, stunning looking person, and you trying to cold approach people walking on the street, bro, 99% of the time you get, maybe not 90% of the time, but there's a higher percentage of chance that you just get rejected. I'm sorry. That's just the facts of the situation. And so again, now we're moving on to, okay, whatever. We've acknowledged the fact that this isn't the best situation to meet people. It's at the grocery store, at the gym. Yeah, you might end up lucky if you shoot enough shots and, if there's enough people there. But I'm not in a belief that I'm just going to approach every person I deem attractive and ask them out. I'm sorry. That's not my mentality. That just seems fucked up to me. Imagine every single person that you found attractive, you walked up to them and asked them on a date. That seems a little crazy to me. That seems a little desperate to me, right? And personally, I don't want to just ask people out based on their looks, right? Again, going back to, I like to establish a bit of rapport, a bit of common ground before I ask people to hang out with me, be my friends, or go on a date with me, okay? Right? Again, that example I mentioned before, I seen a girl at the gym on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We talked a little bit each of those days. I got to know her a little bit. On Friday, I'll ask her out. I'm not afraid. I'm not anxious. Is that not a normal thing to do? Is that being a pussy if I'm trying to establish a little bit of chemistry before I take this person out on a date? Maybe I'm crazy for that. Y'all let me know. But that's personally my belief, and that's how I approach situations. If I'm in a social setting as well, right? Like sitting next to somebody in class, or we're doing a project, or I'm in a social event or gathering, I'm also not afraid to go up to people and talk to them, because that type of setting promotes socialization and interaction, right? You go to a party, you go to a nightclub, you go to a bar, right? In those situations, it's not even close to as awkward or unsuccessful if you talking to random people, because that's the whole point of being there, right? People go to clubs, people go to bars, people go to parties to socialize, to meet new people, to have a good time. So in those situations, you approach the random people are receptive to you. In those situations, like, women dance all over dudes and all over girls, and they got alcohol running through them and they're having a good time. That's a whole different situation. But somebody like me, for example, who doesn't do that, I don't go to parties, I don't go to bars, right? I don't like to drink at all, right? And man, shoot me for that, right? Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should be going and getting drunk more so I can meet more people and meet more women, right? Maybe that's my fault for not going clubbing. But it's like, okay, now let's eliminate that. Where am I supposed to go to meet new people, right? Where am I supposed to go to reliably meet new people, right? I'm not saying that there's not a chance that, again, at the gym, you meet somebody, you see them, a few times, and then you build rapport with them and you go out with them. Sure, of course there's that chance. And, I've had that happen to me where I've seen people at the gym a few times, and you kind of get to know them because you see them all the time. You have some interactions and you kind of develop some chemistry with them, and then maybe you become friends, right? That's happened to me with a few people over the years, right? But generally, that's not a reliable way to go and meet new people, especially if you're talking about the dating game. With the way society's set up nowadays, it definitely dissuades men from cold approaching women for fear of being rejected, for fear of being called creepy, for, fear of being laughed at, especially if you're somebody that's constantly being rejected all the time. And I don't care how little that affects you and how resilient you are and how confident you are in yourself. Every rejection puts a little chip damage to your ego. You can't lie about that. There's nobody that goes out there, gets rejected 50 times in a row and is telling you that they don't give a fuck. All the rejections that be piling up, as much as we want to say that they don't affect us and we can get over them, and as much as we can ignore them, they still sit in the back of our minds. So with all that being said, I know I jumbled up a bunch of information together, but to say that, you're lonely because you don't go out enough is complete bullshit. Because, again, if I'm not going to clubs, if I'm not going partying, if I'm not going to bars, where am I supposed to meet people? Got to sign up for a book club. If you're in school, that's a great way. If you're in school, of course, I think that's a great way to meet new people. And I think that's how a lot of our friendships develop. I've met pretty much most of, if not all of my friends through school, right? All the girls that I met all of them, if not most of them, through school. So outside of that, once you graduate or once you move past that or don't go to school anymore, where are you supposed to go? Especially for somebody who doesn't indulge in these degenerate partying activities, right? Going back to the YouTuber that I saw talk about this, he's like, yeah, you're lonely only because you don't go out. Well, yeah, you could say that because you love to go to parties and go to nightclubs and you were degenning it up. You're on Tinder. You're doing all this type of shit that personally I don't promote, nor agree with, nor like to engage in. In those situations, it's probably easy as hell, right? That's the whole point of going out to these places, is to meet new people, to hook up. Like, people don't go to bars and clubs to dance with their friends. You know what they're hoping to do when they get there? They're hoping to hook up with somebody. They're hoping to go back with a different person they came with. That's just facts. I'm sorry to say yeah, sometimes they go out to celebrate birthdays, but come on now. Let's keep it honest with ourselves. We go to clubs and bars not to hang out with our friends, because we could do that at home, right? If I'm hanging out with the boys, right? I'm hanging out with just the boys and I don't care about meeting a girl, I'm not going out. I'm hanging at the crib. We're playing 2K or something, like, you know what I mean? We're just chilling. We're going play sports, something like that, right? When we go to the club, that means we're trying to get laid, right? Facts. We're trying to meet somebody. So as somebody that's dealt with loneliness in their life and doesn't engage in those activities, it's like, yeah, you could say you're not lonely because you be doing all this bullshit that promotes hooking up with random people, meeting new people, right? All this stuff. But what are you supposed to tell to the people that don't do that stuff, right? Again, I said this at the beginning of the video. I leave my house every day. I go to the gym. I go to get groceries, right? I go play sports. I go to the store to buy stuff for myself. And the thing is, I don't really have an answer for this video. I don't really know what the solution is personally. I don't know, because I'm still struggling with it to this day, right? But one thing I do know is that I'll never compromise my values despite how lonely I am. I don't care how lonely I get. I don't care how quote-unquote desperate. I'll never get desperate, but you know what I mean. I don't care how down bad I am. I'm never compromising my values and the things I believe in just because I'm lonely. I'm not going to go to parties. I'm not going to go to clubs and bars. I'm not going to sign up for online dating because I've tried all those things and they make me feel shittier about myself, right? Going out drinking, I hate drinking. That shit makes me feel terrible the next day. I hate the way I feel after I drink. I hate going out, being in loud-ass environments, and then especially going into those loud-ass environments and getting rejected, right? I hate going on dating apps and getting 0 matches, right? And then lowering my self-esteem, right? We all know what those dating apps are for, and, you know, they're also not very effective. But we all know these things are bad for us. The things that I'm avoiding aren't necessarily super good for us, right? School is like the one exception where I think it's a great place to meet people and develop relationships. But the reason that happens is because you see these people on a consistent basis, right? Nobody makes friends unless we're kindergarten, nobody makes friends on the first day of school, right? They don't automatically sit next to somebody and be like, you're my best friend now, right? We don't do that. Not as adults. We don't do that. Maybe that's the issue in and of itself, but we don't do that, right? You develop a friend in school by, you sit next to them for a week, 2 weeks, you get the homework from them, you exchange numbers to, study together, something like that, right? It's a gradual relationships that develops. And then once the class is over, sometimes you don't even talk to them. Sometimes, as much as you guys hung out during that class, you cut them off, but sometimes it does develop into something more. The point, though, here is that these things are gradual. These things come from gradual exposure to a person, getting to know them over time. That's how you develop friendships, and that's how I believe you even develop relationships. With the way society is set up, especially for the dating market, if you're not going out to bars and clubs and parties and these all social environments, especially if you're not in college, please tell me where you're supposed to go to meet people. Like, please, somebody please tell me. And yeah, you could sign up for like a MMA class or like being a part of a team, but it's like, not only do those things cost money and expensive, like you're primarily going there for the activity, right? I'm not signing up for an MMA class to meet people, bro. I'm signing up for an MMA class to get better at fighting, right? And yeah, you could, again, you could develop relationships with those people, but it comes from gradual exposure to them, right? I'm not going to MMA class to make fucking friends. I'm going there to beat some ass, bro. Right? So, again, where are we supposed to go to get gradual exposure for relationships and other friendships, right? Especially for people that don't want to do that type of stuff. Cold approach is not the way no more, bro. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody on the fucking internet says. Like, you cold approach somebody out of the blue, out of nowhere, more times than not, you're getting rejected. Unless you're drop dead gorgeous, and you will know when you look in the mirror at yourself how attractive you are, how you look in pictures, you will know, right? I'm not saying don't try it. I'm not trying to discourage you guys. If that's something you're comfortable with, keep doing it. I applaud you because that's not something I can do nor I believe in. But the thing is, like, for all my people out there that know that that's kind of like ineffective, what the fuck are we supposed to do? A lot of these YouTubers be posting like, I was a loser back in the day. I was, jerking off all the time and playing video games 24/7. And now I got a girlfriend and got, bro, of course you do. You blew up on YouTube. You have 1 million subscribers, right? Yeah, if I had 1 million subscribers right now and had the money that a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers would have, yes, it would be much easier to meet people because people would know who I am. People would gravitate towards me. Like, no shit. Yeah, you don't blew up and got famous. No shit, it's easier for you to meet people and meet girls, bro. I'm not the type of person to just say, oh, you're attractive. I'm going to take you out on a date. And then we'll figure out whether I even like you or not, right? Because in those situations, that's where you get 10 minutes into the date and be like, shit, why did I ask this person out? Like she got all these red flags. And if I just talked to her for more than 30 seconds, I would have seen these things, right? That's how I look at these situations, right? That's why, again, believe in building a rapport. Once I find out, what, me and this girl both like the same type of movies, we both like to go to the gym, I'm like, okay, we're compatible. I'm gonna ask her out then, right? But simply because you're attractive, I'm gonna go up to you out of nowhere and be like, hey, let's go out on a date. I don't believe in that. And again, maybe I'm crazy for doing that. Maybe I'm a pussy for not approaching women strictly based off their appearance, right? And actually caring about what they do in their life before I take them out. I'd rather shoot my shot with a girl that I'm getting to know, right? That I've talked to a little bit before and get rejected by her, even knowing that I like her a little more. I'm more okay with that because you know what? It's worth it at that point. It's worth it to get rejected. If you start talking to this girl and realize, we're compatible and I see potential in her and she could potentially be a good girlfriend, right? I'm willing to get rejected by her as opposed to getting rejected by somebody browsing the produce section at the grocery store that I don't even know, but she looked good. A lot of girls don't just go out by themselves. Let's just be frank, right? You go out, a lot of girls are not going out single. They're not going to go out by themselves to eat. Like, some of them might, but I just don't see that often, right? They either go out with their friends or they go out with another dude, right? How many girls, again, unless you're going to the club, which, again, an obvious reason why you go in there is to get some, but I don't do that. I don't do that. So again, where are we supposed to meet women? Online? So again, that goes back to now I gotta get clout. Now I gotta get famous because if I don't get a certain amount of followers, if my IG ain't popping, if I'm not top of the line attractiveness, what you know what I mean? Girls aren't going to DM you. They're not going to message you. I'm sorry, they not. You're going to have to message them. And again, that maybe online dating is something I need to look into more. Y'all let me know. And I don't necessarily mean with Tinder, but just like messaging women on Instagram or something. I don't know. But I try to limit my time on social media, so I'm not always on there scrolling and trying to find bitches on there that I could DM. Everybody in the comment section, answer me this question. How many of your friends, how many of your relationships started from a cold approach? And when I say this, I mean like, yeah, you may cold approach somebody in school, but that doesn't really count because you've seen them around before and you've known them. Like, even if you guys didn't talk, right? It's so much easier to go up to somebody in school that even if I never spoke to them before, I've seen them around before, or at least I know that they go to the school. We have something in common, right? How many people have you developed a relationship with? How many clerks at the grocery store have you became best friends with? How many women have you seen doing squats at the gym? You went up to them and now you guys are dating. How many people do you know like that? Because personally, I don't even know if I know one. Maybe one. And even in those situations, it definitely wasn't like a first time thing, right? You see a girl at the gym, you probably is because you've seen her a couple times going there. And the thing is, nowadays, especially post-pandemic, everybody tends to keep to themselves, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. But it is a bad thing in terms of meeting new people and developing relationships. All my friends that are in relationships right now, they all met their girlfriends through some kind of, again, common exposure, whether it be through school, through work, through a mutual friend that they see all the time, right? I'm not saying that it doesn't work and that it can't work, and I'm sure there are people out there with success stories like that. I'm sure there are. And if you're comfortable doing that, keep on doing it, because at some point it will work. Just the numbers wise, it will work. But I don't want to ignore the fact that it's just ineffective, generally ineffective for most men, for most people. Girls probably vice versa. I know girls asking a guy out will probably have a higher success rate, but I also do believe that if a girl came up to me and I'm just trying to do my workout and I'm kind of not ready for it, I'm not necessarily going to be like, hey, yeah, let's go out on a date. You know what I mean? I don't really know you. Like, can we talk first? Like, damn. And, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe, especially if any girls are watching this video, let me know. Maybe you guys are just waiting for somebody to approach you. Anybody. Literally any. I don't know. But from what I've seen online, the way that women expose dudes for even staring at them too long at the gym, you know what I mean? They would love to, if you're not attractive, they gonna make a creep story out of you. Some of them use it to boost their ego. And this is what, again, I like to build rapport. Once you know that this person really, they're really as open to the situation as I am, right? If I approach them out of nowhere, we got all these things to worry about. We got worry about rejection, being put on blast, right? All these different things being seen as a creep, knowing that this probably won't work because they don't know shit about you. Again, especially if you're not drop dead gorgeous, all they see is your face. They judging you based off your look. This is like real life Tinder, right? Cold approach to somebody is real life Tinder. All you see is how they look. You see 10 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm good, right? But once you build a rapport with someone, you see them over a period of days, you get to know them, right? Maybe you didn't think they were the most attractive, but then you see how they carry themselves. You see the things that they're passionate about. You see their interests, and you're like, wow, I like that stuff too. I agree with that. I like how he thinks or she thinks. Then you're like, you know what? Now I see potential here, and now I'm not afraid to ask this person out, and whether it goes right or wrong at that point, it doesn't matter. But that's a good situation to be in. I'm sure I'm not the only person dealing. I know I'm not the only person dealing with this, because I know my friends deal with this shit too, bro. I know my friends that aren't in a relationship right now, they ain't got nowhere to go to meet women, bro. They don't have bitches. I'm fucking sorry. I know all of y'all that watching this video, if y'all don't have a girlfriend right now, y'all ain't got bitches. I know that. And again, I'm not saying that you need all these women over you and all that. I'm not even trying to promote that, but facts is facts. And the thing is, it don't matter how attractive they are. Some of those friends like literally don't be doing shit all day, and some of them really on top of their shit and got money and look good and everything like that, and they still don't got bitches. Do you know why? It's not because they're not worthy of being in relationships or anything like that. It's because if they're not doing degenerate activities like going to the club and partying, where the fuck they supposed to go to reliably meet women that are also good for them and that they also can build a rapport with before just fucking asking them out? Again, I don't know the solution to this. Maybe it's online dating. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the answer, Sway. But I know it's a problem. I know it's a problem for a lot of people that I'm around. I don't think it's for a lack of confidence. I don't think it's because they're anxious, because they're nervous, they don't know what to say. I don't think it's any of that. And for some people it might be, for sure. It's funny because I've been making a concerted effort to be open to every single interaction I'm with because of this very reason. Every time I go out and somebody talks to me or I have an interaction with someone, right? Normally before I would just kind of like let it happen, whatever, not really care. Now I make even more of a concerted effort to even keep these conversations going and socialize just to see if there's a chance that it leads somewhere, and it never has. It never has led past it. Yeah, maybe I'll have a good conversation with somebody. It doesn't last past that day at the gym. Me even seeing a girl behind the counter at the grocery store, me talking to her, asking how her day was, if it's busy around here, what's the best stuff that they sell, whatever. That doesn't last past that interaction.